Well, the future of Minnesota's most famous river is in danger. That's according to a new report that ranked the Mississippi among the most endangered in the country.
Beneath the thick, shifting sediments of the Mississippi riverbed, scientists have uncovered something entirely unexpected: an immense network of vast, ancient tunnels and chambers carved deep into the rock layer far below the river's visible current. This discovery, the result of a sophisticated geophysical survey originally intended for flood prediction, has shaken the geological community to its core and may radically shift our understanding of North America's deep past. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The finding came as part of a project that used next-generation ground-penetrating radar and seismic imaging to map the subsurface features of the Mississippi Valley. At first, the imaging teams noticed unusual voids appearing on their scans, massive symmetrical spaces stretching for miles beneath the river, well beyond what any natural erosion or sediment layering could explain. These weren't the typical meandering remnants of old river paths or standard aquifers. These were long, arched corridors and vast dome-like hollows. Initially dismissed as data artifacts, repeated scans confirmed their presence. Even more startling was their architectural regularity. Right angles, smooth curves, and parallel alignments, completely alien to natural rock formations shaped by millions of years of pressure and erosion. What lies beneath the Mississippi River is a network so old and so deeply buried that its existence defies almost every geological model previously accepted for this region. Radiometric dating from boreholes drilled into the surrounding strata has placed these formations at over 300 million years old, predating even the earliest dinosaurs. This stretches the timeline of possible intelligent design beyond any known civilization or even any known hominin species. The tunnel walls are composed of an igneous rock not typically found in the Mississippi Basin, with a crystallized composition suggesting it was cut or melted by a method not known to any ancient or modern engineering. The tunnels themselves vary in size, with the largest chamber discovered stretching over 600 feet wide and towering more than 150 feet high. These aren't mere cave systems. The layout appears to serve a purpose. Smaller tunnels feed into larger ones like tributaries into a main artery. Some are curved with consistent radii, while others intersect at sharp, deliberate angles. Mapping the system reveals a sprawling underground web that mirrors with uncanny accuracy certain river and drainage patterns observed on the surface. Except these formations were in place long before the Mississippi River even existed. The implications are enormous. If these structures are artificial, then they predate all known civilizations by hundreds of millions of years. If they are natural, then they represent geological processes not previously known to operate on Earth. Scientists across multiple disciplines are grappling with the same question: how could such precision and complexity arise without the guiding hand of intelligence? And if intelligence did play a role, who or what was responsible? Beyond their mysterious origin, the formations are also causing a re-evaluation of the Mississippi River itself. For centuries, the river has been thought to have slowly carved its path over the course of tens of millions of years through sedimentary rock, adjusting its route with each shift in elevation and glacial retreat. But this new discovery suggests that some features of its path may have been influenced or even dictated by the presence of these ancient subterranean structures. In certain segments, the riverbed aligns almost perfectly above these underground corridors, hinting that the river may have followed pre-existing weaknesses or hollows in the Earth's crust, laid out long before the river ever flowed. Geologists aren't the only ones interested. The materials used in the tunnel's walls are unlike anything typically found in the region. Samples extracted from drilling have revealed a dense, composite-like material resistant to corrosion and unusually high in magnetic properties. This is prompting physicists and material scientists to analyze whether the rock is entirely natural or a fused composite formed through unknown processes. One possibility gaining traction is that this substance was artificially hardened or vitrified at extreme temperatures, something that could not happen without intense focused energy far beyond what natural Earth processes could generate without volcanic activity. But there are no known volcanoes anywhere near this region that could have provided such conditions. Adding another layer of intrigue, magnetic anomalies have been recorded in the vicinity of the tunnels. These aren't small disturbances, but large sustained fields that persist even when accounting for typical subterranean iron deposits. In some places, compasses will spin without settling. High-frequency audio equipment begins to behave erratically, as though affected by some form of electromagnetic interference emanating from within the chambers themselves. Even underground drones sent in to explore the tunnels have experienced unexplained signal losses and battery drain when passing certain thresholds. Whatever lies inside these spaces seems to defy not just geological norms, but also the technological expectations of our most advanced instruments. A number of smaller chambers contain interior structures, raised platforms, alcove-like insets, and symmetrical depressions that resemble docks or anchoring points. These elements suggest function or utility, possibly as storage, passage, or even ritual space. One chamber includes an array of evenly spaced vertical shafts extending upwards, their ends capped by layers of rock and sediment hundreds of feet above. This led to speculation that, in some ancient epoch, these shafts might have opened directly to the surface, an architectural feature found in certain ancient temples and tombs in human history, yet impossibly old in this context. This discovery not only impacts theories about the river's past, but challenges core assumptions about Earth's entire geological and civilizational timeline. It suggests the possibility of a forgotten epoch of activity on Earth, a window into a time before known history where advanced knowledge may have existed, or alternatively, that some unknown geological force mimicked intelligent design to an extraordinary degree. Either scenario upends our understanding of the Earth's deep history. What's more, the location of the find, a seemingly unremarkable stretch of one of the most studied rivers in the world, has prompted deep introspection across the scientific community. If something this enormous and complex lay hidden beneath the Mississippi for all this time, what else might we be missing? Could other great rivers, like the Amazon, the Nile, or the Yangtze, be concealing similarly enigmatic foundations? Are we only now scratching the surface of Earth's truly ancient past? Paleontologists are also being drawn into the discussion. The region where the tunnel network is located was, hundreds of millions of years ago, part of a shallow inland sea. Fossils pulled from surrounding layers confirm the presence of marine reptiles and ancient sea life. Yet the tunnel system lies far beneath even these ancient deposits. If any life, intelligent or otherwise, was responsible for the construction of these forms, it would have had to predate even those primordial creatures. This opens unsettling questions. Could there have been a lineage of intelligent Earth life long before the Cambrian explosion? Or could this be the footprint of something non-terrestrial? That possibility, while controversial, is not being ruled out entirely. Astrobiologists have begun speculating about the significance of the tunnel's chemical composition and layout in relation to energy efficiency and climate control, as though they were not merely built to exist, but to sustain. Temperature readings within the chambers remain unusually stable, and air quality sensors indicate a kind of filtration occurring through specific mineral layers. These are properties associated with long-term habitation. The question then becomes not just who built these chambers, but for what purpose, and for how long were they used. The idea that this site may have once supported life, whether alien or anciently earthbound, has created an interdisciplinary race to study the tunnels in greater detail. Excavations are being planned, but are fraught with danger. The structure's age and size make it prone to sudden shifts, and the magnetic anomalies have complicated the use of standard machinery. There's a sense of urgency. Whatever secrets these tunnels hold, they've already endured eons of pressure, erosion, and seismic shifts. How much longer can they remain intact now that they've been disturbed? Historians, too, are taking note. Indigenous oral histories from various tribes along the Mississippi have long spoken of deep roads beneath the earth, and ancient stone caverns inhabited by spirits or gods. These stories, often dismissed as myth, are being re-examined with newfound respect. The possibility that some cultural memory has persisted from a time when these formations were visible or accessible on the surface is both haunting and extraordinary. It blurs the line between legend and history, between folklore and forgotten fact. The discovery beneath the Mississippi River isn't just a geological anomaly. It is a multidimensional puzzle with implications stretching into every major field of science and human knowledge. It forces a reckoning with the idea that we may be standing on a planet whose deep past is still almost entirely unknown to us. A planet whose history might not be a straight line from single-celled organisms to civilization, but a tangled web with entire forgotten chapters now starting to re-emerge from the mud and stone beneath our feet. The excitement is matched only by the unease. There's a growing realization that this discovery may mark the beginning of a new understanding of Earth's history, one in which humanity is not necessarily the first chapter or even the latest one. Something was here long before the river flowed, something that left behind structures so vast and ancient that time itself has nearly erased them, but not completely. Now, beneath the muddy waters of the Mississippi, that hidden legacy is beginning to speak, and its message will echo for generations. What has emerged in the wake of this remarkable discovery beneath the Mississippi River bed is a vast, multi-pronged investigation now gaining speed, with a growing network of scientists, engineers, and scholars racing to understand what lies hidden beneath one of the most well-studied landscapes on Earth. Yet, as they peel away the layers of sediment and time, the deeper they go, the more the lines between geology, archaeology, and something altogether stranger begin to blur. As further mapping operations have extended across the region, researchers have identified even more branches of the tunnel system, extending laterally for hundreds of miles in several directions. These aren't random outgrowths. They seem organized, spaced with a deliberate precision, almost like an underground lattice. The spatial configuration bears similarities to modern urban infrastructure, but on a titanic scale. One pattern in particular has stunned analysts: clusters of chambers arranged in hexagonal tiling, a pattern that occurs in nature such as honeycombs or basalt columns, but almost never on this scale or with such geometrical precision. It raises a profound possibility that what lies below the Mississippi might not be a single structure, but an entire subterranean complex, perhaps even a kind of buried city or installation of colossal extent. To access this network more fully, scientists have begun deploying specialized robotic probes built to withstand intense pressures, narrow crawlways, and electromagnetic disturbances. One of these drones, named Argus, transmitted astonishing footage from within one of the newly accessed nodes. The interior revealed a vaulted corridor with walls that appear not merely cut, but polished to a mirrored sheen. The floor, unmistakably flat, unmarred by time or sediment, contains a long groove down the center, running for hundreds of feet before curving out of sight. This feature hints at transportation or mechanical use, potentially some kind of track or guide for vehicles or machinery. No signs of life, past or present, have yet been observed, but the space is too structured, too intentional to be dismissed as a natural formation. There's a mounting suspicion among experts that these tunnels were not simply shelters or voids, but served a logistical or technological purpose. Certain corridors terminate in smooth-walled spheres, perfectly round chambers 30 to 50 feet in diameter. Some contain embedded crystalline formations at their centers, clusters that exhibit piezoelectric properties, emitting faint electrical signals when subjected to pressure. When connected to sensors, these crystals display subtle pulsations synchronized with Earth's magnetic field, a phenomenon that has never been observed in such a buried context. They may have acted as power sources, resonators, or even some form of natural memory or data storage, an idea that has sparked growing interest in quantum information researchers who suggest that, if these structures encode patterns or rhythms in mineral matrices, they could potentially contain ancient data waiting to be decoded. In another chamber, a highly reflective ceiling reveals markings unlike anything seen in the natural world. These are not inscriptions in any known language, but repeating glyph-like symbols with mathematical symmetry. Certain figures resemble fractals, recursive geometric patterns that expand infinitely inward. Others resemble diagrams of orbital mechanics or atomic structures. Taken together, they do not appear decorative. They appear functional, like schematics or formulas. Teams have begun the meticulous process of scanning and digitally reconstructing these etchings to see if they align with known scientific constants, cosmological models, or entirely new frameworks of thought. The presence of this visual language has implications that cut deeper than any geological interpretation. If symbolic information exists this far beneath the surface, in an environment that has been sealed from the atmosphere for hundreds of millions of years, Then it points toward not just intelligence, but communication, deliberate intent to pass on knowledge. What kind of beings would have gone to such lengths? And more pressingly, why was this information hidden underground, protected beneath miles of shifting rock and river? The proximity of these findings to the New Madrid seismic zone has prompted additional speculation. This area is one of the most active earthquake regions in the central United States. Some are beginning to wonder if there's a connection between the location of this tunnel system and the intense tectonic instability overhead. Could the structure have been built not in spite of this instability, but because of it? Ancient builders may have chosen this area precisely for its access to geothermal energy or unique mineral properties. Alternatively, there's the chilling notion that the seismic instability is a side effect of whatever process was used to build these vast chambers in the first place. Resonant tunneling, controlled energy bursts, or even technologies beyond our current comprehension. Seismologists have begun revisiting decades of data, looking for anomalies that may be attributed not to shifting plates, but to echoes of these subterranean voids. One intriguing theory posits that these tunnels could serve as a kind of Earth-based acoustic or vibrational network, transmitting low-frequency energy across great distances. Earthquakes might not only be geological events, but could, in certain cases, be interacting with this ancient infrastructure, activating or disturbing unknown mechanisms. If these structures were designed to endure seismic activity, then they may have also been built to interact with it, possibly using tectonic energy as a power source. As curiosity spreads through the academic world, linguists, historians, and even philosophers have joined the discussion. The idea that a non-human intelligence, or an ancient civilization long lost to time, could have encoded knowledge beneath the Mississippi raises enormous philosophical questions about humanity's place in the universe. Have we inherited a planet that was once home to other thinking beings? Are we merely the latest in a cycle of rise and fall, creation and forgetting? In universities across the world, seminars are being held comparing this discovery with other unexplained sights and phenomena. The deep-sea Yonaguni Monument near Japan, the Baigong Pipes in China, the perfectly aligned trilithons of Baalbek, and the anomalous metallic spheres found in Precambrian rock. Could these all be expressions of the same ancient impulse, scattered evidence of a lost global project? Or are they unrelated, but part of a larger truth, that the Earth has been host to complexities far greater than our brief linear history accounts for? Some scientists have proposed that these subterranean structures are remnants of an era so ancient it predates our solar system's current configuration. There's increasing speculation that intelligence may have emerged on Earth not just once, but multiple times, rising, thriving, and vanishing long before mammals ever evolved. This cyclical model of civilization, where eras of advancement are periodically wiped out by cataclysm or planetary rebalancing, challenges every textbook notion of progress, and it raises haunting possibilities. If a civilization existed that could build such immense underground structures, what became of them? Did they vanish in silence, consumed by some great environmental collapse? Did they leave Earth? Or did they simply descend so deeply into the planet that they were forgotten? Adding to the intrigue are newly uncovered signs of hydraulic manipulation within the tunnels. Chambers with sluice-like indentations, raised barriers, and spherical basins that appear designed to channel or store fluids. Mineral residues suggest the presence of ancient brines, high in sodium and magnesium, vastly different from the river water above. Some think these basins could have been part of an ancient cooling system, or more bizarrely, reservoirs for chemical or biological processing. No direct evidence of life has been found, but DNA trace testing is now underway, seeking microscopic remnants that may still cling to the interior surfaces. Astrobiologists, seeing parallels with subsurface oceans on moons like Europa and Enceladus, have suggested the tunnels could mimic or even predate similar structures on those icy worlds. There's a growing idea that if life exists elsewhere in the cosmos, it may favor deep environments shielded from radiation and surface cataclysm. The Mississippi find might be Earth's own version of that, the ultimate example of nature, or someone, preparing for continuity beneath the chaos above. The implications for modern technology are also beginning to emerge. The unique materials found in the tunnel walls, the energy phenomena observed within the chambers, and the resilience of the structures themselves are prompting military and industrial interest. Already, teams from private aerospace and defense contractors have been seen near the exploratory sites. These materials could revolutionize everything from shielding technologies to energy storage, but such interest comes with the risk of exploitation and secrecy, which some scientists warn could bury the truth before it ever becomes public. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on what scientists found beneath the Mississippi riverbed? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.